Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world's the world away. And we're now doing stage 42 of issue 12 of Eagle Moss and Hero Collectors Build the Ecto-1. Now after the fun we had with the switches, we're going to be doing the Gentec antenna and emergency brake pedal. We're doing quite a few more details for the dashboard. Let me show you what we got here. As you can see, we're going to be doing the antenna, which is going to be mounted on the top of the dashboard there. We've got a really fiddly bit here, which is where we're fitting, hopefully they don't fall out of my hand, these tiny details on a sprue here to make a detail here for the switch panel, which is there. Then we're going to be fitting some dials and also the emergency brake pedal, and then we are clamping both of the top section and the bottom section of the dashboard together. I already teased that in the thumbnail for issue 41, which looked pretty good. Once again, let me just show you what we got coming in the next issue. It looks like we've got the floor pan and some interior details. To be honest with you, it doesn't look like there's much to do in these three. It does look like we've got quite a bit to do in the last one there, but that should be coming in a few weeks time. Not sure when that is. I have got the proton packs here and the trap, and we're going to be doing that next week. It's two parts, but I'm going to be putting the specials all into one go so we can do that together. And then what I'll do after that is I'm going to mod the proton packs, so I'll make it a stock first off, and then we'll see what I can do with it and soup it up a little bit. But this is going to be the last one for a little while, so let's get cracking. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start doing the details for the antenna. So we need this section here. We've got this black section here with some ribs just down the side of it. And we're also going to need a BP screw. Once again, all the screws come in this pack, so I'll get these open, ready to put together. Now, because there is quite a lot of tiny bits in this issue, I think we are going to need to use our magnifying glass. If you haven't got hold of these, they are in my Amazon store, and I've just put a link down there where you can get them. These are invaluable, and they come with like 5 different kinds of lenses you can add. These lenses are glass. They're really good quality, and as you can see, we've got a light on top here, although I never use that. So let's get going on this antenna. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to take that little section that we just saw there. We're going to be putting that into the black section like that. We're going to be securing that with a BP screw. So I'll get that loaded up on my PHO screwdriver, and that's just going to go in like that, nice and tight. Now we need to put this on a bracket so that it's going to fit on the dashboard. So the bracket is metal and it looks just like this. It's got little 4 points on each side here. Now the GP screws, if you can see here, are really tiny. So I'm going to see if my PHO screwdriver will handle them. If it doesn't, I might have to downgrade to my PHOO. But no, the PHO looks okay. Line this up, and as you can see, you've got a little hole just in the side of the antenna there. So this is going to be going in just like this. Get that lined up, and we get the screw. As a matter of fact, it's probably best to put the screw in first and then locate the hole, because this is a little fiddly one here. I don't think it matters what way round it goes, so I am just going to screw it in and make sure this is quite central. What you do want to do is when you tighten it up, just make sure this is perfectly perpendicular to the clamp that it's on. So it should look just like that when it's finished. Now we're going to bring over the top of the dashboard. As you can see, we've got 4 holes here what this clamp's going to go into. Now quite surprisingly, I thought it would be the other way, but it's this side with the screw in that's going to be facing the front of the dashboard. So when we put it on, it's going to go on just like that. And once again, this is going to be held in with 4 GP screws, and these are the tiny screws again. So if I get 2 in, then it should make things a lot easier. So make sure I'm putting it in the right way. This is certainly a fiddly episode, this one. And I'll get the first screw in. Again, I've not tightened it up all the way, just enough to hold it in, just so I can get all the other ones in here. That's the second one in, and this time I will put it in tight. Here's the third one. These glasses are a godsend, because they are really tiny. As you can see, look at my fingernail. Look, it's just the size of a fingernail, this detail is. And here's the last one going in here. And there we go, that's the antenna all in place there. Okay, the fun bit now, we're going to be cutting these sprues off. Now if you have a look at these details, they've basically got one side which has got a long lug and one side which has got a short lug. It's going to be a long lug that we're going to be pushing into the next detail. But what I need to do is cut all of these off without them going everywhere, because there are no spares. And lucky there, one had already fallen off. So I got a bit worried then. So let's get these off. And when they're all off, as you can see, the sprue's empty. We're going to be taking this detail now, which is the switch panel. As you can see, we've got a lug on top. We're going to be putting them into this side here from the front, but we're going to be putting them in with the long side, making sure they face the same as the shape that you can see in there. So I'll put one in. You're probably going to need tweezers for this actually, because this looks a little bit fiddly. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the detail sideways in my tweezers, and I'm going to push the first one in. Now it doesn't say to glue these in, and they do hold themselves quite well, but that's the first one in. What we're going to do is we're going to repeat that for the rest of them. And there you go, that's all of those tiny switches in place. This is so detailed actually, I can actually read what it says on the bottom here. It says alt bar, flut bar, top ant, blue oots, top strut, influts. They don't make any sense to me. I'll try and give you a close-up of that on my camera, and you can probably make out what all of those little switches mean. So the section we made is going to go onto this part of the dashboard, the one that had the glove box in. It's going to go in this side here, and as you can see, we have got a locating lug at the bottom, so that's just going to go into place here, which is going to line up the other two holes here for the screws. The screws that we're going to be putting in place for this are BP screws. Now we already opened those earlier on, so I'll get these in now. Being very careful with this because I don't want any of those switches falling out. Here's the first one, nice and tight, and last but not least, just on the other side here, the second one. Now I don't know if you do want to put glue in that. Tighten the second one up, but the last thing you want is those switches coming off, but when they're in, it's going to look just like that. Now I've had a little think, and I think I am just going to put some extra thin cement just behind the switches here so they can soak into the holes of them, because I really don't want these falling out. And it's good because the capillary action of this is just going to pull this into the joint, and you're not going to see the glue on the other side here. So now I've got peace of mind that they're not going to fall out. Now, we've just put the switches into this section here. The next thing we've got is the fuel dial, looking just like that. As you can see, we've got sort of like a raised section there, and we've got a flat section. It's going to be the flat section that's going to be going down onto these two holes, just into the dashboard here and here. It's going to be held in with EP screws. So I'm just keeping that in place there while I open the EP screws, and we'll get this into place. Put the first one in here. Make no mistake, this is a very, very fiddly issue, but I'm not going to tighten it up all the way, just enough to keep it straight. Here's the second one, and that's got in lovely. Make this nice and tight now, and the back one, and there we go, that's the fuel gauge in place. Now the holes next to it are going to be taking the battery indicator, which looks just like that. This has got a lug at the bottom, so it's going to help you to locate that, but that's going to go into these two holes here. So I'll get that into place now, just like that. This is held in with one screw just on the other side there, and that screw is once again an EP screw. There we go, that's nice and tight in there. So got the fuel gauge and the battery indicator into place. And then the last thing we've got to put in is the emergency brake. As you can see, you've got a hole for a screw here. Now that screw is going to go in there, which means that this brake won't be operational. This is actually going to be fixed firmly just in there like that. Once again, this is going to be held in with an EP screw. So I'll just lie that down for a second. I knew that was going to fall out. And then we'll put this pedal into place, making sure that's firmly fixed. Make sure that's really tight, we don't want that going anywhere. And there we go, that's that pedal in place too. So we've got the brake pedal, which we know that when we press it, the switch is going to operate there, looking just like that. And then we've got this emergency brake pedal, which is fixed. So all it leaves now is to actually connect the bottom of the dashboard to the top of the dashboard. And as you can see here, we've got 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, and they're going to match the holes that we've just got in here, 1, 2, 3. So we put it together, make sure we're not pinching any wires together. So it's 1, 2, 3. It should fit quite flush in there. And these are all going to be held together with LP screws. So I'll get them open. These are the only ones we haven't used at the moment. I think I'll put the center one in first. Haven't made it too tight, just enough to keep it together. We'll do the same on the other sides here. Now I've already gone and pinched this white wire, so I've had to just get that out. Be conscious of your wire tidy. There's a tip for you. These are quite heavy screws, so they're too heavy for the magnetized section of it. But here's the second one going in. You want to make sure these are really tight. And the last one is going to be on the far side over there. Turn it upside down, just so you can see. This is just going to go into the hole that you can see just there. So put that in. Obviously make sure when you're tightening them up, you're not touching that spotlight, because you don't want that falling out. I'm just going to tighten up the middle one again. And they are all in place, and that is the dashboard complete. I'm sure there might be a few more details we need to put on there, but that looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? But that's all there is to do with that stage, and that is this whole issue, all 4 parts complete. So the last 2 stages of issue 12 were quite fiddly, so I'm hoping some of my techniques that I've showed you there have helped, and it helps it go a little bit more smoothly for you. As I said, I'm going to be doing the Proton packs next week. Tomorrow we're going to have a Spitfire video, but I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.